we can talk about where we're hunting for these leads, or our agents are hunting for these leads. But in order to truly understand the numbers and where your business is most profitable, you have to have a system in order to track that. So, it gets overwhelming when you're more than one agent and you're like having to say, where are you getting this lead? It's overwhelming with one agent. Let's just be honest. With one, it's overwhelming. So how are we streamlining that? We have to define, first of all, the team's goals, create the system to measure that progress, and then how do we track that performance? Like, how do we see what's happening with it? How is it starting here, and where is it falling? If it is falling apart, where is it falling apart, and how do we track that? So let's take a step backwards and talk about what that looks like. So a couple of years ago, I think Josie did this for her team with the, oh, sorry, it's recognizing my hand signals and is trying to make me like raise my hand. Sorry, my computer thinks it's smart. She created a Google form for her team. I did the same for mine. So the Google form is just that. You can create it in Google. All of us have some type of Gmail correlation at some level. And if you don't, it's free to do that. If you're with Keller Williams or a brokerage that provides access to their G Suite, I would suggest you do this separate. And I learned this the hard way. Some of their internal hubs don't support some of the add-on features like sites or the forms and things like that. So go on there, you create a Google form. In that Google form, you put your questions right in there, what you want to ask. So where did this lead come from? How did you find them? What's their name, email address, phone number, best way to contact them, whatever you can go as deep or as not deep as you want. And so you put that on that Google form, and you can actually, I don't know if everybody knows this, so I'm just going to say it. I'm going to act like you don't, but you can actually save that Google form as a shortcut on your phone. And so what we did for our agents is we did just that. So the agents came in one of our Monday meetings. We had them save the app. It looks like an app, but it's just a shortcut to their phone. And when they're out and about, if they're making calls or they meet somebody, all they have to do is put that lead information in. There's a drop down box in there as well, so they don't create their own categories and things like that, because we know we're all infamous for creating those categories and tags, and some of them don't exist. And then when we look at our charts, there's usually like miscellaneous in there because it's really not something we track. Just do that drop down, and it gets sent to a spreadsheet. That spreadsheet comes to the internal hub, which would be me at that point. And I add that to the database. And so when I'm adding that to the database CRM, at that very moment, I can see when that lead was captured. I can see where they came from. I've captured all their information. So I'm kind of keeping the database clean. And I know Josie can probably attest to this. When you do have a bunch of agents entering leads into a database, it gets convoluted and you wind up having to clean it a whole lot more than you should. It seems like you're putting more work on you, but in my opinion, you do it the way you want to do it. But in my opinion, best practice is less people that are entering the leads into your database CRM, the better. Josie, would you agree?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
I was coughing for a second. So I just wanted to.
I got you at the wrong time.
That's
but,
okay.
I did. Yeah, I did. In your, it's in our downloads, or is it a link in the?
It's in the lesson.
Yeah, in the lesson, I did. If you don't know what a Google form is or how to create it, I did a YouTube video for you guys, so you can go out there and follow it step by step to do that. Just so that it makes your life easier, so you don't have to figure it out. But it will definitely help you in tracking where those leads are coming from. But more so, come up with the actual sources before you start building your form, because like you can see on Josie's slide right here, that she has the DTD2 leads, which for those that don't know, it's database, doing the database. Sphere of influence, client referrals, office call-ins. So figure out what you're tracking, and because some people lump some together, but figure out what you're tracking. Like one of my big ones is agent referrals. So I get a lot of agent referrals in and out. So that's something I do track. So think about what you're tracking and then put that in there and make it purposeful. Is there anything you wanted to add to that? Did I miss anything?
Yeah, I was gonna add a few things. So first, to reference this picture. So this is a screenshot from our actual Google form results. So like Carissa said, something I started, I really don't remember, at least 3 years ago. And it's, so when we're saying Google form, it's an intake form, essentially, right? You're sending the lead to the team, to the ops team, so that someone on the ops team can then enter it into the database. So no lead left behind. So here you can see it says 1/13. So there's like 13 pages, I believe, of different, lead sources that are entered. And here it tracks. So this is the responses from when we first started doing it. And I can quickly see if I wanted, like Carissa said, what my top lead sources are. So this little section in white, this is probably stuff that's less than like 1%, right? So it's irrelevant. But why this is helpful, obviously, and then tying it back to the marketing, is because I want to know, right, from the ops seat, or if I'm the rainmaker, I want to know where my marketing dollars are going, and are they going to the right places. So if I'm spending a lot of money on maybe Zillow, and this is not about, but like trying to get like Zillow leads, but Zillow leads isn't making my top 7 or however many this is, then maybe I should repurpose that money to my sphere, because my sphere is my DTD2, it's the SOI, that sphere of influence, right? So, and even this one, so like 5, if you count the client referrals, 4 out of the 5 top ones here are all essentially sphere, but breaking it down more granularly so that I know truly where to put those efforts. And so from the ops seat, it doesn't mean that I'm doing it. Like I don't do DTD2 calls anymore. I used to. And we hired a client care to kind of help with some of that, right? So, but I used to support the team in doing that. But I can help the team members know, right, the sales team understand where they should be spending their efforts, because that's where their dollars are coming from. And so when you're talking about planning out, again, how to use your marketing dollars and how to like focus your marketing efforts, right? First, you do want to define the goals of your team, or if you're a solo agent, what are your goals, right? Create your system to measure the progress. So this is a system. This lead form has been one of the best things that we've been able to do for the team, so that we can capture those leads easily. And like Chris said, on the go, punch it right in your phone. It takes like less than 30 seconds. And then being able to also track and monitor the trends, right? So you guys are actually going to get in the downloads a guide, which teaches you, in addition to the video that she did, the guide will give you the exact steps, and it'll give you all the lead sources that I've included, so that you can walk through, use her video and use the guide, and then you can make identical to what our lead form looks like. So ours also, we're big on referrals, so that's kind of a topic for another day, but we use it to help track where the referrals are coming from. So through the lead form, because we have like an entire referral program and we do referral gifts and all of that for our clients, and for our agent referrals. So through the lead form, if someone, like there's a question, for example, like, was this a referral, yes or no? And if you put yes, it'll prompt you to go to another page so that you can put who did the referral come from, right? And then that's an easy way for us to also track, where did I get the referral? Was it an agent referral? Was it a sphere referral? And then you're going to kind of put the person's name on the additional page within the lead form. So it's a really helpful tool that I do hope that you guys implement if you don't already have like a really solid system on how to do this.
Yeah, this makes your conversation, if you aren't the one in charge of where your marketing dollars are being spent, it makes the conversation very easy to have, because you're going in with facts and not emotion. So that's what I want you to keep in mind when you're doing things like this, and you're then sitting with your rainmaker or sitting with yourself. Sometimes it's you're having your meeting with yourself, and you have to face reality. You don't want to stop spending because you're like, I just spent all this money on farming my neighborhood. I don't want to give up yet. But it's like, when do you play? I call it red light, green light. So this gives you the opportunity to play that red light, green light without going in with emotion. So, okay, I've tried it. It didn't work. Yes, I lost this amount of money, but let's not lose anymore. I'm not going to cut my nose off to spite my face type. So again, this is really just making your conversation or decision easy, because it's factual and not opinionated.
Mm-hmm.